Shalom, Israel. This is Bishop Nathaniel. The Israelites have been scattered across the four corners of the earth, as prophesied in Deuteronomy, the 20th chapter. Here in Israel United in Christ, we need your help to recover the remnant of our people, teach them the gospel. Please help us, support us, and join or donate to the Booster Club today. Shalom.
Israel Most High in Christ blessed. This is Captain Ezra.
And it's Officer Amasai.
And this is 15 Minutes with the Captains. We're going to continue with this series, The Genius of Israel. And one of the main reasons that we're doing this series is so people can understand that we have a history, a great history. We have great works and great achievements that have been purposed or brought to light, so to speak, by our people. Our people have done great things throughout history, and we're still doing great things now. But when we don't have that understanding and we're not connected to our history and we're not connected to the greatness of us, then we don't have the vision and then we fall. So I want to reconnect that vision for us as a people. Let's go to the book of Daniel, chapter 1 and verse 1. Let's get that really quick.
This is the book of Daniel, chapter 1 and verse 1. In the 3rd year of the reign of Jehoiakim, the king of Judah, came Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, unto Jerusalem, and besieged it.
Okay, so we know what we're dealing with, time frame. We know we're dealing with the Babylonian captivity starting right here. I want you to drop down to verse 3, though.
Verse 3, and the king spake unto Asaph, Penaz, the master of his eunuchs, that he should bring certain of the children of Israel, and of the king's seed, and of the princes, children in whom was no blemish, but well favored, and skillful in all wisdom, and cunning in knowledge, and understanding science, and such as had ability in them to stand in the king's palace, and whom they might teach the learning and the tongue of the Chaldeans.
Wait a minute. So he wanted to know which of the children of Israel was skillful in wisdom and cunning and in knowledge and understanding and science and able to pick up this new language. You understand, you already been engrossed in whatever your language is for years. And then you get taken somewhere and they say, no, we want the people that's able to do all these things and also learn our language. That means you must be a pretty intelligent person. And they say, no, it's a lot of them there. It's a lot of them to find amongst these children of Israel. I want you to get that in Babylon the Timbuktu. It's on page 90. Yeah, you can use this one. Because just like when they found us and they brought us over here to America in slavery, they did not bring slaves to America. They brought scientists. They brought jewelers. They brought geniuses over to America. That's why just like when you see here in Babylon, and when we went into captivity in Babylon, guess what they had? They had a people that they could build upon to build a proper, powerful kingdom in the world. And guess what happened with America? Once we left Babylon, what happened to them? Destroyed. Now we here in America. Who is the number one power on the earth? America. Why? Because they didn't bring slaves. They brought geniuses over here. Read this.
This is the book From Babylon to Timbuktu, page 90. And it reads, the black Jews had an advantage over the African tribes. They carried their culture, history, laws, and written records with them. This assured them a constant precedent for the development of a higher social organization. Because of the stability of the black Jewish culture, the Jews were not absorbed into the autochthonous population. In fact, the Jews absorbed some of the native tribes. The Jews made use of every opportunity. They were an industrious and skillful people. In the Jewish Guyanian states were found kings, princes, governors, generals, secretaries, treasurers, revenue agents, judges, architects, engineers, doctors, historians, language interpreters, mathematicians, jewelers, sculptors, masons, carpenters, painters of art, goldsmiths, leather workers, potters, armorers, saddlers, blacksmiths, agriculturalists, etc.
So wait a minute. Did it say slaves?
No slaves.
So they brought over all of these different types of people that had all of these different skill sets, and that's how they were able to build this country. That's what it's a movie. You can watch it on Netflix. It's a movie called Inglorious Bastards. And in this movie, it's a fictitious movie, but in the movie they have Hitler saying to one of his people, his assistants or whoever, I don't know, somebody else in his military, he's speaking to them. And he says the reason that America is winning the Olympics because they got those black, well, I forget the word he used, but slaves. He called us something. But he said because he has them, that's how he's able to dominate. They're able to dominate in the Olympics. No, letting you know, they was not dominant before that. But when did they take over and start to dominate? When they let us get in it. And that's just like anything else. Anytime they let us in something, we take over. Everything, we take over. Fresh out of slavery, what did we do? Built some of the best communities that ever been on this planet. But guess what they had to do? Destroy it because they, no. We can't let them do that. We fresh out of slavery. So it's more. We're gonna get into some more. But I want to go back to the scriptures. Let's go to Daniel chapter 2. So in Daniel chapter 2, Nebuchadnezzar had a dream, and Daniel interprets his dream for him. But I want to get something specific out of here. Go to Daniel 2 and 46.
This is the book of Daniel, chapter 2 and verse 46. Then the king Nebuchadnezzar fell upon his face and worshiped Daniel.
So this is after Daniel told him not only the interpretation of his dream, he told him what his dream was. He said, listen, he asked all of his magician and his Chaldeans and everybody and all his wise men, listen, tell me what my dream was and then tell me what my dream meant. And if you don't do that, I'm going to kill you. Daniel came up and told him what his dream was and what his dream meant. So what did he do? He fell down at his feet and worshiped him. Come on.
And commanded that they should offer an oblation and sweet odors unto him. The king answered unto Daniel and said, of a truth it is that your God is a God of gods and a Lord of kings and a revealer of secrets, seeing thou couldst reveal this secret. Then the king made Daniel a great man and gave him many great gifts and made him ruler over the whole province of Babylon and the chief of the governors over all the wise men of Babylon.
So wait a minute. So due to his wisdom, his knowledge, his understanding that Daniel brought and the way he moved, he got honored by his captor. He got worshipped by his captor. You see that today. Like now they don't like to do it now. They like to, everything is racial now, but it wasn't racial then.
Right.
But even now, it's like certain things, like even like simple stuff like Michael Jordan, he's worshipped. Mm-hmm. Now you say that's sports though. All right, you look at Michael Jackson. He was worshipped by so-called white people. They worshipped him. They had sent their little kid over to his house to go spend the night with a grown man.
Right.
Like, are you serious? But they would do that because they worshipped him, and they trying to trap him up.
Right.
But let's get some more. Let's go to Daniel chapter 5 and verse 1, because the Babylon had multiple rulers. Now let's see what this ruler has to say. Daniel chapter 5 and verse 1.
This is the book of Daniel, chapter 5 and verse 1. Belshazzar, the king, made a great feast to 1,000 of his lords and drank wine before the 1,000.
So now Belshazzar is the king. I wanted to drop down to verse 29. But so now at this time, Belshazzar, he had taken our holy cups and all our things and started to drink with it, drink his wine and use our stuff for his reveling with his concubines and this and that. And the Most High immediately dealt with that, sent him a message, had a hand, just a hand, show up in the room and start writing something on the wall. And they saw it like, you see a hand over there writing, right? Yeah, that's a hand. Yeah, you see that? Oh, shoot. But they didn't understand it. So who did they call? Daniel. Read this. 29.
This is the book of Daniel, chapter 5 and verse 29. Then commanded Belshazzar, and they clothed Daniel with scarlet, and put a chain of gold about his neck, and made a proclamation concerning him, that he should be the third ruler in the kingdom.
Wait a minute. So now Daniel, because he's still in Babylon, he got honored and worshipped by Nebuchadnezzar. Belshazzar says, make him third in the kingdom because he was able to tell me what this means. You have to understand. That let you know he was moving with wisdom. He had to be a genius just to be able to do these things that he was doing. Right. He moving with wisdom among them to the point where he got made third in the kingdom. Meaning it's only 2 people in the whole kingdom above him. 2. And he a slave. Are you serious? So now let's go to chapter 6 and verse 1. We're going to read 1 and 2.
This is the book of Daniel, chapter 6 and verse 1. It pleased Darius to set over the kingdom 120 princes, which should be over the whole kingdom. And over these 3 presidents, of whom Daniel was first, that the princes might give account unto them, and the king should have no damage.
So wait a minute. So now you have a whole nother king come in, conquered Belshazzar, right? Took over Babylon. And what did he do? He said, no, out of all of my presidents that I have in my 127 provinces, Daniel, you'll be number 1. You're over everybody else. That means this brother had to be a pure genius to where each of these are different rulers all coming and showing and recognizing in this one person that you excel all others. And that's one of our forefathers. That's our people right there. Right. And they saying, no. That brother is above everybody else. He's above all the people I brought with me because he didn't come by himself. Right. He came with this. He already had wise men. He already had Chaldean, well, not he person, but he already had his people with him. He already had people that he trusted, advisors, and everybody already with him. And he said, no. Daniel, the slave, you over all of them. All right, let's get some more. Let's go to Sirach, chapter 11 and 1, because this is what wisdom does for you. And we just seen it evidenced by just reading about our brother Daniel.
This is the book of Sirach, or Ecclesiasticus, in the Apocrypha, chapter 11 and verse 1. Wisdom lifted up the head of him that is of low degree, and maketh him to sit among great men.
That's what it did for our brother Daniel. It raised him up from a low degree as a slave to sit amongst great men. And that's what happened with him. And that's what happened not just with him. It always happens with our people. Why? Because we are the cream of the crop. But we got to realize that. We got to walk around and know that. Even then when we go into work, the way we carry ourselves in our daily walk in our job, they should be like, that one is better than the rest of these. Right. We got this in us. This is in our history, but we have to reconnect to it. So I want to watch something. I want to pull up this video. Pull up this Black Inventors. Because we got to understand that even post-slavery, our people went through, we had the worst education systems, worst healthcare systems, worst everything on the planet, and yet we still able to rise. Watch this. So we got Lewis Latimer. He improved on the light bulb. So the light bulb was in existence, but it didn't work until he got his hands on it and said, you know what, this is what it needs. So you might have Edison saying, yeah, electricity and a light bulb. Yeah, but your light bulb don't work. Let me see what you got. This is fresh out of slavery. And he creating and inventing. Now, who we got here? We got Henry Brown. He's the one that made the fireproof safe. This is when? 1886. He has it patented.
Right.
In 1886. We got out of slavery in what, 1863?
Yeah.
He was doing this. That's not even a generation later.
Right.
Come on. Now this brother, hold it. Gerald A. Lawson. A lot of brothers play a lot of video games. Sisters don't really play the video games too much. That's not really their thing. But brothers will play a video game. Back before this brother, the video game was all contained in one unit. Meaning when you got your video game, it was whatever stuff they built into it, that's all you got to play. And if you want to play something else, you got to go get a whole new system. The brother said, no. I'm going to make it in a way where you could put the game on a cartridge and put it into the system and take it out and put another one in if you want to. It wouldn't be that if it wasn't for this brother. There would be no PlayStations. There would be no Xbox. It would be none of this stuff without this brother. Mm-hmm. Nothing like this without the brother. Come on. But I guarantee you he didn't die the billionaire he should have died. If he died, I don't know where he is. But continue. Wait a minute. Wait. Patricia Bath. This sister invented a laser eye surgery. Laser eye surgery was invented by this sister. People go get laser eye surgery all the time. You're not going to do it without the sister.
Right.
It don't even exist. Hold it. Even when our people are inventing something, it's still in the midst of racism, sexism, classism. All these things are on top of you, and you still able to shine. Mm-hmm. Now imagine if we just able to just live.
Right.
We free. So understand, we have a rich history, and there's more to it, and we're going to get more in depth with it. But we got a rich history as a people, and we just got to reconnect to it. But we're going to leave it right there and say shalom.
Shalom.
We used to scream black power while heroin was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission, minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold, from Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.